for 2023 is the Springfield Echelon. The striker-fired polymer frame pistol features Springfield's new variable interface system for mounting multiple optic footprints and the serialized cog fire control for inserting into multiple frames. Find out more at springfield-armory.com.
Hey there, Tundra Nation, and welcome back to the channel. Today on Tundra Tactical, we're going to get into the long-awaited and requested what your pistol caliber carbine says about you. We've not covered the topic as to not incur the wrath from the north, but the time has come, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back, question your magazine compatibility, and let's start the show.
It has begun!
Just to get them out of the way, since we all know hipsters like to claim they were first, we have the CZ Scorpion. If this is your personal choice, well, of course it is. I mean, how could it be anything else? It comes from the most decrepit sounding country to most Westerners, but it's got local artisanal craftsmanship, and that's all you care about.
You suck!
You don't actually shoot this, as some of the controls are a bit sharp from the factory by design, and you being unable to admit the gun you chose isn't real perfection, you refuse to change any aftermarket accessories. God forbid you use a gun with any sort of magazine compatibility. Newsflash, buddy. Nobody cares about that one time you went on a spiritual journey and found a shaman to do ayahuasca with at the foot of a mountain in West Virginia. Now we can't talk about PCCs without talking about the Sig MPX, popular among the tactical crowd as well as competition shooters. This is yet another gun for the pretentious shooter. You also wouldn't dream of having magazine compatibility issues with other platforms, since those types of things are for the poors. The reality is you were an only child and have no idea how to share, and you always get your way. But you bought this gun with the intention of changing as much as you could on it just to say it's a custom build, when in reality it looks like you spent too much of your kid's college fund to still suck with it. If your favorite PCC is a Thompson, then you're probably being shown this video on your grandson's phone. Hello, old timer.
I'm confused.
You are stubborn and set in your ways, often angry with the world changing around you. The kids these days just aren't the same, and it scares you, but you act like a tough guy. I mean, if just one of these kids would show an interest in learning and hard work, you'd give them a chance. I mean, you have plenty of valuable lessons to teach, and you could do it all while working on that old project car in the garage. You'd even stick up for the kid if you had to, and at the end of it all, you'd let him keep the car. Wait a minute. Did my writers just write the plot of Gran Torino? Guys!
Get off my lawn.
Sci-fi nerds all picked the same gun for this category, the Beretta CX4 Storm. You have this gun simply because of Battlestar Galactica, and since you run out of budget, your pistol is the PX4 Storm, so you can actually use the same magazines. Look at that. You have no accessories for this gun besides spare magazines because there are none. You drive a Pontiac Fiero because it makes you look like the coolest person at your D&D game. Your wardrobe consists of way too much corduroy and scarves. When you come out of the basement to go out with your friends, your mom always says you look dapper, when really, you look greasy and smell like 4-day-old yogurt.
That's disgusting.
Next up, we have the venerable MP5 from everyone's favorite company that actually hates you, H&K. Once again, we have another PCC that doesn't have magazine compatibility with anything else. You are the ultimate LARPer and only wear a kit worn by the SAS. Allegedly. Your dream car is an Aston Martin, but buddy, that forklift job just ain't gonna get you there. Not being able to let anybody say something without correcting them or overstepping them, you are the one-upper of your group, and that's the reason
nobody likes you.
But you tell the guy in the mirror it's because they can't handle your lifestyle, and you shouldn't change for anyone. Hey, do you like innovation?
Yup!
Do you think Colombian Bam Bam is the best thing for an engineer to use as a coffee substitute?
Yes, definitely!
Well, then you, my friend, are a KelTec Sub 2K owner. I shouldn't have actually even asked those first two questions, since I heard you screaming about how reliable yours has been. There's nothing cooler to you than something that unfolds into a subpar platform. In fact, all your furniture is folding beach furniture. This makes it convenient come eviction time, which is roughly every 6 months or so. Your financial planning is done entirely by relying on the horde of raccoons you've trained to steal from people's cars at night. So next time a raccoon knocks over your trash, folks, just know it's a KelTec owner trying to steal your identity.
What?
If you run an AR9 of almost any type, congratulations on being the most boring guy at the Honda Civic meetup. You are a huge fan currently of Yellowstone, and before that, I guess it was Sons of Anarchy probably. You're a trend follower and haven't had an original thought in your head since you figured out how to put your pants on one leg at a time. You only used Legos as a child, and the thought of K'NEX pieces frightened you more than any scary movie could have. You managed to get a wife, and she's just as boring and simple as you. She does a pretty good job raising your 2.5 kids, but is super high maintenance. Much like your rifles, you spend more time doing cleaning and maintenance than actually getting to have fun with her. The next gun is for the guys that don't really stand out at all and are just average in pretty much every way. The Ruger PC Carbine. This 9mm is for those that just enjoy plinking. You have no delusions about what this gun is or is capable of. You don't care for competition because you've never gotten good at it in any form. And you're not trying to be tactical because you live in a nice middle American suburb and would just call the police if you needed to. You recently had to switch beers to Coors because you don't do woke, but at the same time, you don't really understand meme culture all that well, so you don't consider yourself based. Whatever that means. Either way, the only way those cans are getting recycled is after you've lined them up in the trash pit outside of town and put numerous holes in each and every one. The 80s were full of action movies with Russian villains, but the bad side, it always appealed to you. And that's why you own a KP9. You love all things AK. In fact, you have an entire collection of AKs and an RPK, even though none of them are actually even Russian made. The only parts for your kit that actually are Russian made is that old expired gas mask and the vodka you keep in your Camelback. You wake up in the morning with a cigarette in your mouth, somehow still lit up from the night before, and instantly anger your neighbors by blasting Hard Boss for hours, sometimes even leaving it on all day while you're at work, or as you like to call it, the breadline. Tracksuits are the pinnacle of sports fashion, and nobody's gonna be telling you otherwise. Well, I mean, they will, but you'll be just too blackout drunk to hear it.
I think I'll do a wraparound. We'll wrap around.
If Call of Duty and Rainbow Six took up a significant portion of your teen years, then the only gun I expect you to own is the UMP. You don't own this because it's made by HK, but because you fell in love with it playing video games. This was your dream gun for so long, and you worked hard and you saved your money, and finally, you got one. And now the realization is set in. Crap. There's no aftermarket anything for this. The magazines are more expensive than new tires, and it's not nearly as good as it was in the video games. I mean, plus, all the fun is gone from that gun without full auto. You don't love the gun any less, it's just a disappointment, but you should have seen that coming since your parents feel the same way about you.
All right, I'm gonna go cry.
Hey buddy, if you want to talk about that to a fellow gamer, I'm all about it. But only if you watch me over on Twitch 7 days a week at twitch.com/Tundra Gaming Live.
Gotcha.